Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Straight Talk for Energy Healers. My name is Renu Aurora. I am an energy healer. I am the creator of the healing modality called the accelerated release technique. Now, what that is I basically work with the subconscious. I help people identify the issues in their life and track it back to the emotional root causes that have been there and that are really the thing that's holding them back. So once we unhook that, life changes kind of magically. And I am also the author of the book, The Energy Healing Bible. Here's my baby. And finally, I am here on a mission. My mission is to help energy healers like yourselves to be able to live your life's purpose, to be able to share your gifts with the world, to help as many people as you possibly can, because I know that's what we're here for. And I want you to be able to do that and to do it without being broke. Because let's face it, energy healers don't have the cachet, don't have the respect that they so rightfully deserve. And this is about empowering you to be able to be your best self. Not only that, but to give you sometimes some business tips or whatever it takes to be able to get out into the world and share your gifts. So today I've got an awesome guest. I'm so looking forward to chatting with her. We're going to speaking with Helen Hardware. So Helen is the Soulful Confidence Coach, and she helps spiritual entrepreneurs who want to unlock their self-belief, uncover their authentic self so they can feel unstoppable, I love that word, and connect wholeheartedly to their soul-led calling. By identifying and healing blocks from this life and past lives, as well as connecting to starseed origins, Helen helps her clients transform their confidence and expand their consciousness. And we are going to have so much fun talking today. So without further ado, let's bring Helen on.
Hello, and thank you for the fantastic welcome. And thank you for having me here. It's really great. I loved your intro. We are so on the same page.
Yes. When you told me about what you're doing, I am thrilled to have you on. So this is Straight Talk for Energy Healers. We don't waste any time. We've got just a few questions we're going to go through. We'll have some fun. While we're there, but we're just going to dive right in. So, Helen, in a nutshell, how would you describe what it is that you do?
So I'm a spiritual hypnotherapist, and I guess I help healers, light workers, and starseeds to clear blocks from this life, from past lives, and to connect and activate to their starseed origins. So, and I do all of that through the magic of hypnosis and coaching.
Okay, fantastic. So what is your special gift? I call it your superpower that makes you amazing at what you do.
Ooh, good question. I suppose it's the fact that I'm intuitive. So I'm, as well as being a spiritual hypnotherapist, I'm trained in all sorts of other modalities. I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher. I'm a crystal healer. I've been working with crystals since I was about 10 or 12.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, it was when I could only afford little teeny weeny stones in my pocket money. And I'm a Reiki healer and all sorts of other modalities. I'm also an ex-lawyer, so I bring all of those things in. But I think what makes me slightly different, especially as a hypnotherapist, is when I'm doing past life regressions, when I'm doing starseed activations, I go on the journey with the client. So I'm actually intuitive. I suppose you could call it psychic. It's not a word I tend to use, but when they land in a place for their, regression, they go back to a certain life. I tend to see what they're seeing, and I tend to get it just before they tell me. Now, that's got a blessing and a curse, because ethically, as a hypnotherapist, I don't want to influence or sway a client, but I can sometimes pick up things that they haven't quite got to yet. So I have to be able to guide them through the process without influencing them, because it's not about me having an experience, it's about them having an experience. So it's a gift, because I can really see how to direct a session. But as I say, sometimes I have to be careful, because I want them to have that experience. I don't want it to be something that I'm sitting for them.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get that. Actually, when I'm doing my own sessions, I don't see stuff, but I get a hunch. Like I can see the story unfolding, and I know it's got to come from them. So it's like you kind of direct your questions in certain ways to see if they get the aha moment that you're going for. Yeah, that's especially cool that you can actually see it. I'm just like playing it by ear.
Yeah, I kind of get the pictures in my mind, just like if I'm doing a regression myself, I'll see an image and then they'll describe it to me, and it's exactly what I've just seen. So yeah, it is really exciting when that happens.
That's super cool. All right. Um, so my next question is, so my audience is energy healers, as is yours, which is pretty perfect. Why might they need the service that you offer, and specifically, why might they want to work with you? I think we've touched on that a
So
little bit, but
I love that question. So I guess what I really specialize in is the healing the belief that we're not good enough to do it. And my that includes my background. That was my big block when I first wanted to set up my own business. I wanted to work as I wanted to teach yoga actually online. I went through a burnout, and yoga was really important to my recovery, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't put myself out there and get visible. I
Mhm.
tried to put it out there, and I hit this wall. So what I really specialize in is working with healers, light workers, and starseeds to overcome that fear of being visible. So I always say there's three stages really as a spiritual entrepreneur in our journey. There's when we're first starting out and we've got those, there's I would say 5 core fears of being seen. So fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough, and fear of success. And they can be really overwhelming and debilitating when we first start out. And then there's a next stage where we've got past that, and maybe we've moved on a bit and we're perhaps up level and we hit that block at a new layer. So then that's overcoming those blocks. And then there's the third layer, which is where we are quite advanced, perhaps, as spiritually conscious entrepreneurs. We've overcome a lot already, but we're recognizing that there's something else that's available to us and we're not quite connecting into. And it feels like there's a missing key for the next level. And that's usually where my Starseed clients come in. So
Okay.
they're usually expanding their consciousness.
Now, I was going to ask that question. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait till she's finished so I can interrupt. I don't actually know what a star seed is. Can you elaborate that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So star seeds are usually light workers, but not all light workers necessarily identify themselves as star seeds. Star seeds are those of us who are uh, who feel at our core level that we've had reincarnation in other planets, other dimensions, other star systems.
Oh,
So, we're here on Earth today for a reason. We've always got a mission, as every soul has. Everybody is here to learn something and grow. But starseeds have this sense that they're here for something bigger as well. And there's often a feeling of perhaps not fitting in, and often feeling like we don't know what that mission is, and a feeling like time's running out. And often, if you've ever looked up at the stars and got a sense of feeling that's home, or being drawn to a particular planet or star cluster, they're all signs that you're a starseed.
oh, that's kind of cool.
It is
Heard of
amazingly
that.
cool.
Neat. And I'm gonna before I get into the next question, I wanted one of the things that you had mentioned to me before we decided to have you on the show was the concept of witch wounds. And I was like, ooh, to expand on that a little bit because I think our audience would, well, I like it. So so even if the audience is bored, you please tell me.
It's such a powerful block. So the witch wound, sometimes this is called the healer's block as well. And it's where in previous lifetimes we've experienced persecution and rejection for using our spiritual gifts, whether it be energy healing or some of my clients have been herbalists or have been doctors or other types of healers in some way, maybe sound healers.
Okay.
And historically, anything that's spiritual that's been outside of a religious doctrine has quite often been through a lot of persecution and rejection. So when we've experienced that in some way, we create these blocks and these beliefs that it's not safe to embrace our gifts, it's not safe to show up authentically with all of our magic, all of our sparkle, and put it out there and say, hey, this is me, this is what I believe in. It might be a fear of even just having crystals and telling people, how crystals influence your life.
Right.
And it's so those experiences that we have in past lives really can create those blocks and beliefs that we're tackling in this life, especially with those visibility fears. If we're feeling uncomfortable showing up because we're worried that other people are going to think that our woo-woo is crazy, and we're worried that they're not going to want what we've got to offer. Lots of my clients, when they're starting out, will say, well, who's going to want to buy from me? I know I've got this thing to offer, but I don't feel that I'm good enough to do it. I don't know that anybody's going to want it. And what if I'm not able to deliver? That's a big one. They know that they've trained, they know that they've perhaps been certified, qualified, but they doubt whether they're able to get client results
Right.
because they don't feel in their heart that they're good enough. And that's often because they've got that fear of rejection or persecution if they do show their gifts in public.
Right.
So which wounds quite often people will think of as being, oh, you were burnt at the stake, or you were drowned in a past life being a
Well, there's
witch.
some of that.
That can be part of it, but it's so much wider than
Yeah,
that.
there's so much more.
It's so much more than that. It is that healer's block that we come into this lifetime carrying the karma of previous lifetimes where we've had that persecution and rejection.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I wanted people to understand what that was all about, because yeah, that is a big thing for healers specifically. Okay. So now you did mention to me that you have something special to offer my audience. So do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I've got a guided meditation it's a hypnotic meditation to connect with your higher self. So that's available exclusively on my website. It's not on the front page. You need to go direct to the link. So it's helenhardware.com/slash higher self.
Fantastic. And my last question for you is, oh, and that link, by the way, should be in the description of this video, so you have that there. And finally, how can my audience reach you if they would like to connect?
So they can reach out to me on Facebook. I'm facebook.com/slash Helen Hardware, or they're very welcome to join my group, which is for Soulful Confidence for Spiritually Conscious Entrepreneurs. And that's called the Soulful Confidence Collective on Facebook. Or you can find me on Instagram at the it's soulful confidence. I'm
Okay.
still getting used to Instagram. It's not something I've used that much.
I don't use I have an Instagram handle. I don't know that I've actually put anything on it ever. I just
I was
follow
like
it.
that for a long time, and then my social media manager has really kind of given me, kind of like, right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, well, if you can do the Instagram thing, more power to you. All right. Now, finally, I thank you so much for being here. It was really fun chatting with you. Thank you to my audience. As always, I so appreciate you taking this time out of your busy day to spend it with me and the wonderful people that I bring on board to chat with. And if you'd like to reach me, you can find me at acceleratedreleasetechnique.org, or email me at info@acceleratedreleasetechnique.org. And again, that information is in the description too. And if you liked what you see, then please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and of course, share it, and come back and see me next week. Until then, you take care.